Yo, what's up, guys? Quick live stream. We got some promos going on. So I'll share my screen. You can see PrizePicks has their little Taco Tuesday promo where they discount certain plays. So here you can see we have Javier plus Gray discounted to 4.5 strikeouts for the 12:30 game. So we can start here. We might as well start on PrizePicks. Oh, baby. And we got an NHL play to pair with it. So this is basically going to be one of my first NHL plays of the season, at least on live stream, which I can't complain about. So, again, the way that PrizePicks works for anyone new to PrizePicks is this platform is weird, right? It's weird because if you look at a normal sports book, right, you see a bunch of odds, you see a bunch of numbers. The Broncos plus 420, bet 100 to win $420. On PrizePicks, there's no odds. There's no numbers. It's a fixed payout, platform. You take overs, unders, whatever. You're always going to get the same payout. So like any 2-pick entry, you're always getting a 3x payout. So basically the strategy, for beating PrizePicks, it's not that complicated, is they don't change your payout based on you selecting over versus under. So it all just boils down to, what percentage of your picks can you win? So you can see right here for Andreas, all the sports books have his under heavily favored. Under 2.5 shots on goal, right? DraftKings has him minus 145. Looks like lines are moving a little lower just on the positive EV tool. BetMGM minus 135. Bet Online. So all these sports books are just telling us, right? They're all sources of information. Even if you don't use Bet Online, still a sharp sports book. You want to put some weight into their odds. And they're telling you, hey, we think Andreas is more likely to go under as opposed to over. So obviously, if the under is more likely, you don't want to take his over. You want to take his under, right? 3x payout you're getting no matter what. So you want to take the more likely pick. Again, PrizePicks strategy is very simple. It all boils down to what percentage of your picks can you win? What percentage of your picks can you win? Right? And basically on this platform, PrizePicks, if you can win these over-unders like Andreas, over-under 2.5 shots on goal, if you can win your picks, your over-unders above 54.25% of the time, you're going to be profitable. So what this tool on OddsJam does is pretty simple. It's just going to scan the market, and point out plays where sportsbooks have an under or an over really heavily favored. So you're winning that pick above 54.25% of the time. But anyways, let's go to PrizePicks. We can also hit some bets on Fliff. Again, Fliff is a cool sports book. These coins are fake money, but they have real money, right? So we already hit some bets on Fliff. But what's nice about Fliff is it's legal in, a ton of states. You can see there's some good plays on PrizePicks. There's some good plays on the Underdog. So we got a long day ahead. There's also some promos on JockMKT. They currently have Patrick Mahomes discounted to 240.5 passing yards. Rest of the market has him around 270.5. So again, just even if you don't have a huge bankroll, just taking advantage of these promos, Taco Tuesday, you're going to make a lot of money. But anyways, let's go to my next pick. So this pick I looked at yesterday, and it's really good. So, not opposed to going with it again, is Derrick Henry to not score a touchdown. Now, you may be like, I don't want to wait till, Sunday, whatever. You don't have to go with this pick. But again, on PrizePicks, it all boils down to winning your picks above 54.25% of the time. And if you look at the sports books, all these sports books have Derrick Henry, super heavily favored to not score a touchdown. So like, for example, if you look at Fliff, this is the OddsJam sportsbook screen right here. All it kind of does is read in data from all these sports books. Nothing complicated. But if we go here to player props, and we look at Derrick Henry, you'll notice he's super heavily favored to not score a touchdown. Right? His under is priced at minus 180 on Fliff. His over is plus 125. So his under is a really big favorite. So this is a good play to go with, right? We want to take Derrick Henry under. We want to take Derrick Henry to not score a touchdown. And it looks like the most random slip of all time. But hey, if that's where the value is, that's where the value is. We can look at Kelsey as well. So you can see Kelsey is a slight favorite to score, minus 125, minus 120, but nothing crazy. Pacheco is a slight underdog, minus 130s, it kind of looks like, to score a touchdown. So you'd rather take Pacheco's under as opposed to over, and you'd rather take Kelsey's over as opposed to under. But for Derrick Henry, again, it all boils down to win rate. So you're looking for spots where sportsbooks have an under, super heavily favored, minus 160, minus 180. And you can see some sportsbooks like Caesars, Betano, they only have one-way markets on player touchdowns. So you can see like Caesars, they have Derrick Henry plus 117 to score, but they don't give you odds on an under. But you can kind of assume, okay, even though they're giving me this one-way market, that's an underdog price. They'd probably be similar to Fliff and have this under at minus 170. If you just look at Fliff, they're plus 125 on the over, minus 180 on the under. So if Caesars had odds on the under, it'd probably be minus 180. And again, there's some good promos as well on Caesars. So don't overlook these promos. I mean, some of the easiest money you're going to make. Ooh, we got a 25% NHL profit boost as well. So we'll have to take advantage of that. But anyways, let's go back here to PrizePicks and let's try to finish out our slip. There are also some good plays on Underdog, so we might as well load up Underdog as well. Crazy. So first play, for example, a lot of early line discrepancies. So you can see here, I locked in this slip yesterday on the live stream, is we got Kamara over 58.5 rushing yards. A lot of people don't want to place bets now for Sunday, but that's when you're going to get a lot of the value, especially in the NFL, a sport where books tend to watch their lines more closely. As you can see, Kamara, they've already bumped him up 9 yards. So a lot of the value went away. He's now at 67.5. Anyways, we want to go with Breece Hall under 65.5. I apologize. And if we go back to PrizePicks, you can see he's at 59.5. So we found a line discrepancy. And again, Underdog seems to be the stupider one out of the group. Underdog is the stupider one. So another tool you can kind of use to find bets is this arbitrage page. So here's another one we can go with on Underdog Fantasy. Let's make a little 5-pick entry. Is Matt Wallner to not score a run? So you can see all the sports books have his under heavily favored. And essentially arbitrage is when sports books, risk-free arbitrage, most people use this tool. And there's little help videos and crap like that to make risk-free money off the sports books. And I know it sounds crazy, but essentially, you just saw all these books set lines independently. 59.5 for Hall on PrizePicks, 65.5 on Underdog. Right? All these books set lines independently. And when they get super, super out of sync, not always for big profits, but you can place a bet on equal and opposite outcomes. In this case, the over 34.5, the under 34.5 on Fliff and WinBet, and make a risk-free profit. But more importantly, whenever arbitrage exists, whenever two sports books are so out of sync that you can bet an over on one book and under on another book to guarantee yourself a profit, one of these bets has to be profitable, right? Either WinBet is giving you way too good of odds or Fliff is. You can't have risk-free money exist in sports betting if neither bet is profitable. Same thing here, right? For the Colts game. Same thing here, right? You only have 2 data points and you could make a small risk-free profit between, Fliff and Caesars, but one of these bets has to be profitable. So in this case, FanDuel's an ARB to Underdog, and Underdog Fantasy, you need at least 2 picks, so you can't actually ARB it. But it's pretty clear all the sports books have the under heavily favored, the markets crossed, with FanDuel. So that seems like a good play to go with on Underdog. What else do we like? Man, we can see there's a bunch of plays. So the strategy for Underdog is very similar, right? So Lance Lynn, we can take a look at this. Man, there are a lot of line discrepancies. We got Asia Wilson under 9.5 rebounds. So it's this looks like the most random slip of all time too. And anyways, then we'll get back to PrizePicks. But essentially on Underdog Fantasy, right, it's the same strategy. They don't change your payout, right, based on you selecting over versus under. Right? We take Lance Lynn's over or his under, we're still getting a 10x payout. So we just want to look at sports books to see okay, which outcome, which side is is favored, right? Which outcome is more likely? So if we look at, hits allowed, where is it? And we look at Lance Lynn, he's heavily favored. This is DraftKings. It's a $10 billion company. They're pretty good at setting lines. They have pretty good models. You want to put some weight into their odds. And again, these books are also constantly moving around lines as lineups change. So I've explained this, but like in the MLB, for example, you'll see a lot of good plays often show up as official starting lineups are released, right? Whoever's pitching for the Twins, they're playing the Astros. Once the starting lineup comes out, that affects their props. If these hitters are more likely to strike out, the opposing pitcher, lines have to move towards his over and strikeouts, or his line has to move higher. But anyways, let's keep going. So what do we want to look at? So let's finish out this underdog slip, maybe. So let me just refresh it real quick. And you can see there's some, there's a lot of line discrepancies. Some are in eSports. So like Artemis, what's the deal with this guy? Underdog has his line at 5.5. We can check out League of Legends. They have his line at 5. So honestly, this play seems even better on PrizePicks. So maybe we go with this on PrizePicks. This play seems very good on PrizePicks. Let's get rid of this Brees Hall play. This makes our 4th play on PrizePicks. So you can see OddsJam was recommending we take this on Underdog, who has the line at 5.5, right? If you look at this player, his line is at 5.5. But if you look at Hot Streak, which is another sports book, again, the more books we look at, the better. They have his line at 5.5 with the over heavily favored. The over is 1.55x. I'm not sure why they put their odds in decimal format on this website, but if you just go to a little odds converter calculator, it's called decimal odds or payout format. As you can see, 1.55, which is what they have the over priced at, means minus 182 odds. So basically, they have the over as a big favorite, over 5.5. And on PrizePicks, they have this guy's line sitting at 5. So it's like, okay, that seems like a pretty good play to go with. And then we can go back here, and maybe we just lock in this underdog slip. So when you're playing 4-pick entries, you want to go with insurance. I've kind of broken down before. I've broken down a lot of things before, but I've gone through the math, behind every type of slip on Underdog. And if you want to load this up, just load this up. Hall under, Wallner under, Lance Lynn under, Asia Wilson under. But essentially, all these platforms, right? Like Underdog is another fixed payout website. They don't change your payout, right? Based on you selecting over versus under, whatever picks you go with, you're always getting the same payout. So it all boils down to what percentage of your picks can you win. And on Underdog, you're going to see 3-pick and 4-pick entries are the best. So it kind of matters, right? Like on PrizePicks, they only give you a 5x payout for 3-pick entries, as you just saw. Whereas on Underdog Fantasy, it's a 6x payout. So it does matter on these platforms, just like, how many picks are you going with in your entry? So we can go back here, but it all boils down to win rate. Like you hear all sorts of shit about, this is how you beat PrizePicks. This is how you beat PrizePicks. And I'll add in this other play. We can add in Donk under 38. Man, it is crazy how big these CSGO line discrepancies are. If you think about it, like how inefficient this market is, line is 35.5 here, 38 on Underdog. It's crazy, right? Like it's like seeing a stock at 35.50 on Fidelity, $38 on E-Trade. It would be pretty damn easy to be a day trader if stocks were 35.50 on one platform, 38 on another platform. So what you could do is you could middle bet this. You could hit the over on PrizePicks, right? Buy it for 35.5, hit his over, hit his under 38 on Underdog. If he has 36, 37, or 38, you're going to win both plays or at least win one and push one. So anyways, we got a little 5-pick entry. Beautiful. So we can go ahead and we can lock it in on Underdog. And then we can go over here. And let's just reload this. And we got some good looking plays for this weekend starting to line up. But let's finish out this PrizePicks slip. So let's go back to PrizePicks. ParlayPlay reduced their payouts yesterday, which is a little annoying. But hey, just how it goes sometimes. So we can go back here to PrizePicks and just be like, okay, like what's the deal with some of these guys? So there we go. You can see they don't even have a lineup on Underdog Fantasy for some of these players. League of Legends is back. It was gone for a while. You can see Underdog doesn't even have lines up for a lot of these players yet. But, I mean, this is absolutely insane. Look at this player, Miru. His line is 6 on PrizePicks. So, again, what kind of sucks is we don't have a lot of data points, right? So this would be a good spot to middle bet. Miru's line is 6 on PrizePicks. This is insane. His line is 10.5 or 8.5. I apologize. It looks like on Hot Streak with the over favored. So if you middled this, right? If he had 7, if you hit the under on Hot Streak, under 8.5, the over 6 on PrizePicks, right? Like this isn't about eSports. This is just about data. You hit the over 6, you hit the under 8.5. If he has 6, you're going to win. You're under 8.5 on Hot Streak, which is a benefit of having Hot Streak as they do have eSports lines. Most major books like DraftKings, they don't have eSports lines, which is a little annoying, but so definitely recommend Hot Streak for eSports. Hit the under 8.5, the over 6. If he has 6, you'll push on PrizePicks. It'll tie. So our 5-pick parlay will go to a 4-pick parlay. And then on, Hot Streak will win. On the other hand, if he has 7 or 8, we're going to win both plays. So what we can do is we can go back here. And maybe that's a play to go with. We can look at this guy, CEO. We can take a look at him as well. So his line is 8.5 as well. And the benefit here is when you take players on the same team, both to go over in League of Legends, that's positively correlated. Okay, so similar to how, right, like on Underdog Fantasy, we're getting the same payout regardless of the picks we select. So if we want to take, Russell Wilson, just as an example, right, like if we want to take Russell Wilson to go over in passing yards, we're going to get a 6x payout here. It would make no sense to take Sutton's under. That's his receiver, and you're still getting a 6x payout. So obviously, if Wilson goes over his stat line, Cortland Sutton, if Wilson balls out, Sutton's more likely to ball out and get a lot of receiving yards. So you want to take players to go the same direction, overs or both unders, for quarterbacks in their receivers. And it's kind of the same thing in it's the same thing in League of Legends. You want to take players on the same team. If you look through the historical data, which I've done, you want to take players on the same team to go the same direction, right? So again, like it may seem like we're gambling a lot, but once you understand these platforms, like I understand Underdog Fantasy, I understand their payout structure, I understand what type of slip is optimal, I understand the exact percentage of picks I have to win in a 5-pick entry to be profitable, I understand how sportsbooks work. Like once you understand all this stuff, you're just going to start minting money. You're not going to win every bet, but you'll win long term. So we have Miru. Let's check out this player, Bong. So now we can go to Bong. So it looks like they got rid of this play on CEO. So if we look at our boy Bong, his line is 4 here. And then if we look at Hot Streak, where do they have Bong? They have him at 4.5 with the over at minus 200 odds. So this play seems good. Something like this we could go with on PrizePicks. You can see there's some combo props. So maybe this is what we go with for Taco Tuesday. And you'll notice PrizePicks gives me, jack shit betting limits. Oh, $10 max, they tell me. When you beat these books up pretty bad, max when you're playing a discount is $5. I mean, they absolutely are trying to screw me here. Not barely letting me bet. But anyways, this play seems quite good. MLB, NHL, 3 eSports, and then Derrick Henry. So what we could do as well is we could always form another slip. So here you can see some bigger arbitrage bets are popping up. So if you use WinBet and you use FanDuel, for example, it's only a 0.191% arb, but let's say you have $250 on Win, $74 on FanDuel, is you're kind of day trading these inefficiencies in the market to make risk-free profit of $3 in this case, just using the arbitrage tool. But obviously, like, that's not a huge risk-free profit, especially because this game's on Sunday. You got to remember, like, you get your money back when the game ends. So this isn't the most compelling arbitrage bet, but also, one of these bets has to be profitable. Over 35.5 at minus 323 or the under 35.5 at plus 340. But anyways, let's go back here to, where do we want to look? ParlayPlay, after they change their payouts, a little harder to find value, which is annoying. So anyways, we can take a look at some of these players as well. So if we go back to PrizePicks, anything else we want to go with on Underdog? I mean, Joe Mixon under 67.5 seems halfway decent. But maybe we just skip over this crap for now. Let's go back here. Let's also try to see, are there any Fliff plays? So on OddsJam, we got this good play on PrizePicks, under heavily favored, so that makes a pick good on PrizePicks. Again, on these platforms, like, you're really looking for line discrepancies. So like this play on Breece Hall, for example. And again, here's the PrizePicks Taco Tuesday slip if you're just tuning in. They only gave me $5 max, but whatever. What was I trying to say? Is Breece Hall, right? Like, when you're finding an edge on these platforms, so Underdog Fantasy, it all boils down to, can you win your picks? For 5-pick insured entries, it's a little lower, like 54.7%. But can you win your picks above, a certain percentage of the time? So you want this number as high as possible. If you can win, your over-unders correctly, right? Just like Javier over under 2.5 earned runs. If you can get these correctly 60% of the time, your ROI on Underdog is going to be 42.56%. And I have videos that break this down. If you can win them 58% of the time, only 25%. 56% of the time, 9%. So it all just boils down to what percentage of your picks can you win. And Underdog is banking on you having no advantage. If you have no edge, no advantage, I mean, again, like, this is hard. We're trying to win our picks 56% of the time, which means only lose 44%. But it all boils down to win rate. And the way you're going to find picks winning above 55% of the time on Underdog is, first of all, you can find line discrepancies like Breece Hall, right? Not Ball, Breece Hall, 59.5 here, 65.5 here. That's a big line discrepancy, especially for a running back. Donk, 38 on Underdog, which is the stupider one out of the bunch. And then you can see, PrizePicks had his line at, 35.5 or whatever. So you could middle bet this, hit the over 35.5, under 38. I have such crappy betting limits, but whatever. Or you're going to find spots where sportsbooks have, an under really heavily favored, like Lance Lynn, right? His under 3.5 hits allowed is super heavily favored, which makes sense. I think this is an elimination game for the Dodgers. If he's pitching poorly, he's not going to be in the game long. If he's pitching poorly, no chance. So you can see some money line bets popping up. BYU plus 203, right? DraftKings minus 198. So the arbitrage tool you can use just as a source of information, because one side of all of these bets is profitable. Either TCU minus 198 or BYU plus 203. One of those is a good bet because you could bet both and make a risk-free profit. So one of these bets has to be good. I could bet BYU on WinBet, TCU on DraftKings, and make a risk-free profit. So one of these bets has to be good. So you can kind of use it as a place to find good bets too. But anyways, let's go back here. So let's go back to Underdog. And anything else we want to go with, we locked in a lot of this crap. Joe Mixon under 67.5 rushing yards. Not really. So let's go back here. Let's go to PrizePicks. So we already have our Taco Tuesday. And what we can do is we can kind of start building. Maybe we build one last slip together, or we can look for some bets on Fliff as well. So if we go here, what we can do is we can filter for just like Fliff. Again, Fliff is a great book to have. It's legal in a ton of locations. There's a lot of good bets. There's a lot of good arbitrage bets. Make some risk-free money off them. But yeah, there's just a lot of bets, period, on this platform. So you can see here, like the Oilers minus 1.5. It's almost an ARB to bet MGM. and it looks like pretty clear value. All these other books have them around plus 150. You're getting plus 165 on Fliff. That seems pretty good. So again, the way that sports books work is they charge a spread called the VIG, right? So DraftKings has their market plus 145, minus 175. So that means, when you remove the VIG, this is a VIG remover. That's how sportsbooks make money. When you remove the VIG from DraftKings market, the true price with the VIG removed on Oilers minus 1.5 is plus 156. We're getting plus 165. So we can go back here. And again, this seems like a great play to go with. So we can go to the NHL. Or let's just search them. So it's nice too, some of these great bets, they're not going to last forever. So having a search button is, useful. And let's play this as, a straight bet. They have a max bet size of 250 on this platform. Again, the Fliff coins are fake money, so they're kind of irrelevant. But I just kind of throw them on random crap sometimes when I'm bored because they don't really do anything. But it's fun. But anyways, that's the first play we can lock in on Fliff. And then, plus 165. So again, that's how sportsbooks work, right? They charge a spread called the VIG. You got to remove the VIG, right? So you remove the VIG from DraftKings market. The true price with the VIG removed is plus 156. We're getting plus 165. So this is the most important calculator in sports betting. If you kind of read it and understand it, it'll definitely be helpful. No VIG odds calculator. It's the key to understanding sports betting. But anyways, you can see there's some other bets on Fliff, talk about a bankroll builder. You can kind of check out the line movements if we just click on these. It's kind of interesting to see because, again, you got to remember all these sports books set lines independently. So they all have to update odds with the rest of the market, right? So if we go here to the NHL, we want to go to the Avalanche game and we want to take them plus 1.5, minus 250. So there can be value at minus money, plus money. A lot of people think, oh, I can only bet on parlays. That's not true, right? There can be value at minus 900. It all boils down to what percentage of your picks can you win. So a simple example is when you're betting at plus 200 odds, right? You have to win over a third of your bets to be profitable. Plus 200 means you're betting 100 to win 200 in profit. So you can lose 2, you go down 100, you go down 100 again, then you win 200, you're back at flat. So if you can win above a third of your bets, you don't even have to win 50%. If you're betting at plus 200 and you can win your bets 40% of the time, you're going to be super profitable. When you're betting at plus 300, you're betting 100 to win 300 in profit. So you can lose 3 for every one you win and you'll be flat. So you're just trying to win your bets over 25% of the time. Now, when you're betting at minus 400, everyone likes to bet on favorites. But when you're betting at minus 400, if you win your plays 75% of the time, you're highly unprofitable. You're betting 400 to win 100 in profit. So you have to win 80% of your bets to be profitable, which you can kind of see with an odds converter calculator. Because so many people are like, oh, it's impossible, to bet on sports and make money. And it's actually, that's not true. When you're betting at minus 110 odds, you're betting 11 to win back 10. All that means is you have to win above 52.4% of your picks to be profitable. And I'm not saying it's easy, but it's possible. Trust me, it's possible. It's not that hard to win above 52.4% of your, bets on all these dumb sports books that are all setting lines independently in this super, super fragmented market. So here you can see it looks like lines have been ripping towards the under in the Eagles game. A little bit of value at plus 125. If you want to take the under in Eagles Jets. Penguins minus 2.5 looks halfway decent as well. Maybe we throw a little 100 on that. We get some NHL plays in the mix. So we can go here. And again, a lot of people would be like, oh, I don't see Penguins minus 2.5. Is you got to know how to navigate these sports books. Most of them, almost all of them, have these alternate tabs, right? So taking a look at that. And then, we can throw some coins on it because why not? And we got some good bets. Then we can go back here and we can just kind of see maybe we can find one more PrizePicks slip, just maybe. So we have Bong and Miru, which again were positively correlated plays. So we can go back here. Bong and Miru, these are positively correlated plays. It's recommending both overs. So that seems solid, but there's not a ton of other value. Well, actually, so another thing to mention about eSports is it's also positively correlated to take players on the opposite team to go opposite directions. So all these plays are positively correlated. Long story short, when you're betting League of Legends on PrizePicks, players on the same team, never take them going in opposite directions. And I'm not saying, oh, every League of Legends player take, teammates, all of them to go over and, opposing team to go under. But a benefit of PrizePicks here is if you look at League of Legends, okay, so if you look at League of Legends, you'll notice, okay, like PrizePicks, Underdog Fantasy doesn't let you bet players from the same team, right? Underdog Fantasy is too smart. They don't let you bet players on the same team. It's only exploitable on PrizePicks, okay? So players on the same team are very positively correlated to go the same direction. So I think this play was from the live stream last night. Obviously didn't start out perfectly. This one hooks us. We had 5. We needed 6. But again, like these two plays are positively correlated. Players on the same team, take them going the same direction. Players on opposing team, take them going under. So we can go back here and we can refresh this. And let me go back to my favorite play of all. Well, so these are kind of interesting. What is Sidney Crosby to score a goal? So we can go here. So Derrick Henry, again, heavily favored to go under. So we can go back here to the NFL. And we want to take Derrick Henry to not score a touchdown. The entire betting market has him as like a minus 180 favorite to go under. It's clear as day this play is winning above 54.25% of the time. And all the people who are like, oh, but I love Derrick Henry, I watch his highlights. It's like, go bet him plus 130 on Barstool. PrizePicks means minus 119 odds. A lot of people forget that. PrizePicks means you're getting minus 119 odds for these 5-pick entries, right? Like we said earlier, on PrizePicks, you have to win 54.25% of your bets to be profitable. So what is 54.25? Minus 119 juice. They're essentially giving you minus 119 juice on the entire board. That's how PrizePicks works. But anyways, let's go back here. So we got our boy Bong. We got our boy Miru. There's some MLB plays in the mix. See, this play I'm going a little lower on because it's positively correlated. Alvarez, Altuve. So let's go back here. And we can go to Alvarez and Altuve. So these plays are also a little bit positively correlated. Like you got to remember, I'm not sure if it's going to let us bet both of them. Let's see. Max entry is $10. Man, they screw me in every way here. So in the MLB, right, like if Altuve and, Correa and Alvarez, like we're basically like these plays are positively correlated. If Altuve isn't getting on base, he's not getting hits, he's not getting runs or RBIs, Alvarez probably is more likely to go under. So these plays are positively correlated, right? These plays are positively correlated. So we're basically banking on an Astros fail game, hopefully, which I'm not opposed to. So we can go back here and we can see FanDuel. You can just kind of add in all the sports books you use. I got to add in ParlayPlay. So what's a little annoying is ParlayPlay, which is a platform I was using a lot, and I really liked them. I really liked her, but they ended up changing their payout on us. They reduced their payout. They used to have better payouts. Now they reduced them to have worse payouts. But you can see there's some good bets on FanDuel as well. Ooh, so this bet's available on it's available on Underdog as well. NHL. But anyways, we'll call it a day for now. I mean, we got down a ton of bets on this live stream. West Virginia -3, a lot of bets on FanDuel. Again, in these live streams, a lot of shot on goal bets. I really just try to focus on the main books, we all have access to. Underdog, PrizePicks, just because they're most popular. Fliff, whoa. Oh, shit. But we have a crazy MMA play now. So we can go back here and we can remove these plays. Or we can remove the eSports plays. Look at this MMA play. It just popped up on the arbitrage tool, right? Heavily favored to go under 3.5 rounds. So PrizePicks, it looks like, is dropping MMA lines right now. So if we go to fight time, so OddsJam converts fight time into what am I trying to say? Anyways, let's go back to League of Legends. So let's take Slater. OddsJam convert like 17.5 minutes is 3.5 rounds. You're going to see the sportsbooks have the under heavily favored. So that's a good play to go with. I mean, we're not doing any rocket science here. So we can take Bong and Miru both to go over. Bong and Miru. And this is a positively correlated slip, right? And again, like PrizePicks gives me, jack shit betting limits. But you kind of get the point. What you could do is you could say, oh, I don't know. Like I kind of like those MLB plays better. And you could take these MLB unders together, which again is going to be positively correlated, right? Taking players on the same team both to go under. So we could always just be like, okay, like, whatever. They're going to let me bet $10 or whatever it is on this crap. And you could switch in the MLB plays. If we wanted to, we could. So we could go here. And again, some of these lines are going to get bumped. It's just how it's going to go. But sometimes I like to diversify. Like some people will be like, oh, how many, plays should I include in my slip? It's like, well, it's kind of up to you. But so we wanted these two. Would be cool if PrizePicks added a 7-pick entry. So maybe we can go back here. Which play was better? Bong was better than Miru. So maybe we get rid of this, which is, a little bit of positive correlation, which is a little annoying. But again, we want to take both unders for the hits plus runs plus RBIs combo. And then they're going to give me a $10 max, right? So that's just kind of how it goes. But hey, all these plays seem quite good. So hopefully this was helpful. Well, we can see, is there any value on Underdog, or maybe there's some more value on Fliff? So a lot of bets on FanDuel. FanDuel is one of my, it's a great sports book to have. But anything on Fliff, anything new, doesn't really look like it. So thanks so much for your time.